I'm going to start with something that I just perplexes me, and maybe you'll get it, maybe you don't. This is why I know that I'm on a different planet. This is why I know I don't exist in the same place that others do. I recognize that. I'm completely fine with that. Let me give you an example. I was watching a variety of things this morning. And by the way, I love to get a kind of a melange of topics so I know what everybody is saying. And there's a wonderful show I like. I'll catch as much as possible. Breaking Points with Crystal and Sagar. This was, I think they were on the Hill, and they're very good. Crystal, if you can go through her likes, she sounds like a very intelligent 12-year-old, but she's very good, has some good points, very tough. Sagar, and I'm pronouncing his name. I never really caught the name. But anyway, very, very good. He had Chris Matthews on. And Chris Matthews, believe it or not, made more sense in a recent interview than he does normally. And I thought that was very interesting. And the reason why is what I've been telling you for the longest time. He understands politics versus stuff that doesn't matter. He understands politics, the political side, the psychology of psephology. Okay. This Caitlin Collins, who I told you looks like she has suffering from the worst cramping. She looks like she's in constant pain, furrowed brow, angry, like she's watching an autopsy for the first time, like she just got the news, that I tell you that the colonoscopy didn't take, and she has to go through the prep again. It's like, oh God, that look of, oh God, complete and total disgust. Like, I got to talk to you. Terrible, horrible. And to show you, nobody at CNN was going to say, wait a minute, hold it. This is called television. And immediately you're scaring people. Some people can pull it off. Levin can do the screaming and stuff. I think that's kind of hit critical mass, but you can't do that. In any event, so she was talking to Vivek, or as they say, Vic. I call him Vic Ramaswamy. Now, here's the story. Help me out with this one because I don't get it. Apparently, one of the big deals is Vic at one point said he questioned whether there were actual federal agents on the plane on 9/11 or one of the planes. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. This is what you're focusing on? Did you not see? Do you know nothing about anything? And it occurred to me. And this is very, very odd for me to say this. Let me see if I can go back, and because I want to give you this. Turn this down. God forbid if anybody hears anything, they'll go crazy. You can't believe the stuff we go through. Where is this? He had on, where was it? He had this. Vic, because they're going Vic crazy. Oh, anyway, somewhere wrong. Let me find this for you because I want to get this thing very, very critical. Vic is like, you're not kicking the tires on this one, okay? You don't know what you're talking about. Vic is having the time of his life. Okay. Vic Ramaswamy, Caitlin. Oh, they're also saying he was mansplaining, which I don't even know what the hell that means. I want to get this thing right. GOP candidate listen to this. This is from USA Today. USA Today, the magazine or the newspaper for people who don't like newspapers. In a tense exchange on CNN, Vic Ramaswamy was pressed about a conspiracy theory. Now, here we go. When you hear conspiracy theory, you know, rule number one, you know it's not. Rule number two, it's true. All conspiracy theories are true. So don't call it a conspiracy theory. Just say about the falsehood, about the lie. That's okay. About the BS. But when you call it a conspiracy theory, it's true. All right. He floated, claimed he was misquoted. Ramaswamy appeared on Caitlin Collins' show, The Source. The angle, the edge, the matter, the question, the key. You got to have some stupid thing. You know, Mandy lifeboats, the vantage point, the perspective, the view, the smell, the scent. I like the smell. He was asked to clarify in a recent article in The Atlantic. His comments made reference to questions about whether federal agents were involved in the September 11th attacks. I think it is legitimate to say how many police, how many federal agents were on the planes that hit the Twin Towers. Like, I think we want, maybe the answer is zero, probably is zero. All I know, I have no reason to think it was anything but zero. But if we're doing a comprehensive assessment of what happened on 9/11 Commission, absolutely, that must be an answer. He said, what I said was, the GOP presidential candidate insisted he was misquoted and taken out of context. What I said is on January 6th. Okay, fine. Let me stop. Boring. Are you listening to me? Especially if you're new to this thing here. If you're new, they missed the point completely. If you're not talking about forensic evidence regarding 9/11, I'm not interested. You can talk all day long about who was involved. Remember the fellow, and please forgive me, but I do this all the time. Remember this one? This guy, because sometimes the names are like Hamana. I don't know who their name. Remember Anwar al-Awlaki? Remember the fellow who died at the Pentagon after 9/11? Remember this? Anwar al-Awlaki, the radical spiritual leader, linked. What does linked mean? What does it mean to be linked? I'm linked to you. How? I don't know. Anyway, Anwar al-Awlaki, the radical spiritual leader, linked to several 9/11 attackers, the Fort Hood shooting, and the attempted Christmas Day bombing, was a guest at the Pentagon in months after 9/11. The Pentagon official confirmed. Okay. Do you see what's happening now? All this stuff just kind of confuses everybody. Do you see what I'm saying? It confuses everybody. So nobody knows what to make out of this. You see what's happening? And Caitlin, bless her heart, who was 9 years old on 9/11. Now, I'm not saying, and I wasn't there in the Civil War, nor was Shelby Foote, but other people are, they know this stuff. So understand who we're talking about. We're talking about people where history kind of means nothing. There's a newer version of this. You have a lot of wonderful people, kind of a new journalism out there, but a lot of folks who really don't know a lot about history. And whenever you want, and I'm just going to say it now, I do this on my private channel. I don't talk about this at all here. Believe me. I have no interest in ever discussing, ever, nor will I ever in this platform, ever. But listen to what I'm saying. When you talk about the forensic evidence, JFK, RFK, Malcolm X, 9/11, forensic evidence, Epstein, go through it. Are you listening? That's where it matters. You will never hear Crystal and Sagar or Caitlin or Mindy or Michaela, whoever these people are, never. They don't know the first thing. They'll say, what are you talking about? There's a guy named Eugenio Mark Grube, who know the forensics inside and out. As a trial lawyer, if you really want to get, it's forensics. What data did you do you have? If I can show your alleged involvement in satanic rituals and satanic groups of people, and you being linked to all kinds of horrible, terrible people who are okay. If I can do this, if I can show this, if I can make you aware or make connect you to just the most vile of people, but there's no forensic, there's no evidence of you ever being at a crime scene, it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference. But don't you understand? You were linked to this person. You were linked. Yes. I understand that. You were linked, but it doesn't matter. And what these people are saying, and like I said, I will only talk about on my private channel, it's the forensic evidence, pictures, eyewitness testimony. The hell with who was on the plane. The hell with who was linked. The hell with who had breakfast with George Bush the morning. Who cares about that? Who cares? That doesn't mean think detective. Think forensics. Think, come on, everybody's into true crime. You're CSI, aren't you? You love that stuff. What are you talking about? What are we even remotely discussing with this nonsense? And is this a conspiracy theory? What, Caitlin, CNN, spell it out. What? That there weren't federal agents on a plane? I don't think there was a federal agent on any plane I've ever been on. What the hell does that have to do with anything? This is the conspiracy theory? They don't even know what a conspiracy theory is. Explain this one to me. All Vic Ramaswamy's got to do is say, well, what do you mean? Huh? What do you mean? If I said, I'll bet you there were no federal agents on the plane, are you confusing? I think he's confusing January 6th with that. What does that mean? What are you saying? Caitlin? I don't know. Well, they gave you this question to ask. What is this? What were you a Chris Licht hire? What's going on here? Where are you going with this? What are you saying? No, I'm saying, what are you saying? No, you're saying, and all you got to do is keep shoving it back to her. What are you getting at? If I said, they didn't serve any peanuts on the plane. Aha. What does that mean? You tell me. It's your interpretation of it, not mine. I don't understand this. Do you see where it is? They call this a conspiracy theory. Are you listening to me? 9/11 is over. Just forget it. If you want to learn about it, you're not going to go on TV. You're not going to go here, and nobody's going to talk about it. You know where to go, but get ready and hang on, because you're not going to believe nobody's talking about it. It's like anything else. You are not going to believe what people don't know. You are not going to believe what people don't know. You're not going to believe what people don't talk about regarding Epstein. You're not. You can't believe it. 60 years ago today, 60 years, no, not today, this year, JFK. Why would you keep using the same death car? Why? Why would you remove a windshield that has a bullet going through it? What? What about, that's the forensics. It's all there. She doesn't know about this. Crystal and Sagar and Eddie and whatever, they don't know anything about this. You got to understand something. This is children's TV, children's news. This is quaint. This is nicely packaged little donuts, and they're nice. They're not very nutritious. They're filled with chemicals, but they're popular and people like them, and they're like vapes and things like that. And by the way, time out. Every weed store in New York is empty. I see more people in barber shops than in weed stores. That's all I want to say. So, do you understand this? Let me say this again to you. Let me say this again. And this is the most important thing I can tell you. You've got to understand the illusion of the news. There's no such thing as the news. Whenever you put on a radio station, if there is a radio station anymore, you're going to hear their top 40, their news. You're going to hear their folks. You're going to hear their stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Their stuff, not the good stuff. I was listening to on my private channel. I put up new people people that are just great. And every now and then I'll say, wow, I've been finding some classic bossa nova people that are just, but from the, I guess, 90s, there were two groups. One was Swing Out Sister. Fantastic. The stuff you hear might be so-so. And Everything But the Girl. So good. So, and to this day, they're just incredible. Now, why don't they get the airplay? I don't know. Forget that. Country music, Dale Watson. Dale Watson might be the most authentic country music singer. And you got these people today, and they're very nice. I love my God and my family. Going to number one. You can't do that in my town. We're going to shoot you down. Number one. Incredible. That's my flag. And we've been through this forever. But people now, they've invented. See, George Jones behind me right there. See, George Jones? George Jones. The best. So anyway, there are these people who come along, and all of a sudden, you think that there's these. But they're really not that. They're okay. But people will just find these stories. They'll all of a sudden think, oh, we've just discovered this. That's corny. You want to get some, don't play David Allan Coe on an empty stomach. But there's some other stuff too. Russell Smith will blow your socks out. Merle was the first one. Anyway, make a long story short. Or, by the way, time out. Anytime you're going to hear this, Dan Rather cannot say Merle Haggard. Earl Scruggs. Earl. I'll change the flat tire, Earl. Don't you get your sweet country picking fingers all covered with Earl? Because you're an Okie, I know. Oh, Merle. I'll what's that? Who did that? Amazing Rhythm Aces? In any event. No. I'm going off. I'm going down the path and I'm leaving. I'm going over there, but I'm coming back. I'm coming right back. There are people right now who think they're going to do the news, and Caitlin Collins doesn't know anything. I was going to say, Dan Rather says Merle Haggard. If you get the chance, don't ask me. Sometimes he has these very interesting interviews on. He talks to people and he has his reporter's handbook. We're talking to Gigi Allen, who's dead. When you began to fling human waste at the audience, what year was that? He actually talks to people like they're, but he can't say Merle. He says Merrill. I will never. You mean Osmond? All right. I'm not going to belabor the point. But Caitlin, if you're listening, if Sagar and Crystal and whoever you are, you don't know anything about 9/11. You just don't. The forensics. You know nothing about it. You just know kind of like the commission, and like some people know the Warren Commission. You don't know who's Zellico, and you don't know any of this stuff. It's the most complicated. And I would venture to say Vic Ramaswamy doesn't know what he's talking about. Vic, why are you even getting near 9/11? Are you stupid? That's number one. Number two, you want to cut funding to Israel? Keep it up. Vic doesn't really want to win. Vic just likes being Vic. Vic loves seeing his name. Vic loves seeing his name. Vic loves, he loves, I am so unimpressed with Vic as a politician. If you can't figure out somebody who has no intention of winning, he's doing this for his own glory. Can't you see this? Let me also tell you who's going to be something. Let's switch a little bit over right now to this debate. And debates don't mean anything. Everybody's a master debater in their own right. What people don't understand about this is that the guy you got to watch, and I'm not going to watch this. I don't care about this. I swear to God. You know, I might. I doubt it, though. I doubt it. I might, just so I could talk about it. Yeah, probably I should do that. Here's the guy to put on. The guy to watch. Chris Christie. Now, let me ask you a question, because everybody here is an expert. Everybody here is a bony fingers. Oh, that's Hoyt Axton. When you work your fingers to the bone, what do you get? Bony fingers. Della and a dealer and a dog named Jake and a cat named Kalamazoo. Took on the money in a pickup truck. And, well, if cats could talk, what tale you tell about Della and the dealer and the dog as well? And the cat was cool and never said a mumbling word. Oh, Hoyt Axton, Joy of the World. Jeremiah was a bull. Time out. 3 Dog Night, my first concert ever. My first big stadium concert. I think I was in the 8th grade. They were the biggest band anybody ever saw. They were the biggest. It's time out now. Don't get confused. Is he talking about something else? I can't. Where's my meds? Where's my vape? They were so good because what they would do is they introduced Elton John, Randy Newman, Laura Nyro, Paul Williams, Out in the Country, is against Hoyt Axton. They did your song, I think before they had the best. They were a songwriter's best friend. And Hoyt Axton was great, right? Hoyt Axton, Randy Newman. And there were some others who were just incredible. Stop. Moving on. Chris Christie is going to go in for the kill. Chris Christie is going to go in for the kill. They are going to go after Ron DeSantis. They're going to go in for Ron DeSantis. Now, what's Ron DeSantis going to do? He's going to overplay it. He's going to overthink it. Serious. You've got to understand something. What is your strength? I saw last night a debate, an old debate between Estes Kefauver and Adlai Stevenson. A debate, and Kefauver eventually became, I think, his VP. And he went up against Eisenhower. There's no way. And he did it because there was no Democratic. Truman had dropped out. There was a vacuum, and he decided that he was going to fill that vacuum. This was our friend, Mr. Stevenson. And as I was reading this, or watching this rather, as I was watching this, I looked. I could not believe Estes Kefauver was reading. He was reading. Reading. You understand that? Friggin' 30-second ad. Friggin' 30-second ad. Somebody writes this. Hey, want to see another one? There's another one for you. Can you imagine the cojones coming into my paying nothing, adding nothing, taking up space, adding nothing to, just utilizing my work, my talent, my genius coming in, these entitled, boorish, just these rude people, freaking 30-second, frigging. Can you believe it? I gotta wait. You know, Louis C.K. did one of the best things ever. I've never seen I've seen some of the rudest, and that's why I can't even look at this sometimes. I swear to God. It's like this cacophony, a lot of good stuff. But then there is people who said, hey, I can come in here and just set off stink bombs and yell, like, look at me. Look at me. All right, I don't say anything. That's all right. I wish I could do that. Like, hey, we're talking and you're talking about whatever it is. Isn't that something? Time out here. This is important. Louis C.K. talked about people who were on a plane and say, I can't believe the Wi-Fi is slow. I was like, do you not understand? This sense of rudeness and entitlement is who we are and who we've become. That's why I hate people. Not you, but everybody else. Unbelievable. But it's the idea of that, look at me, listen to me. I don't care whether it's worthwhile. I don't care whether you admire me. I don't care whether it's appropriate. I don't care. I don't care anything. Just look at me. All right, enough with that. So what happens tonight? What's the story? What's the story? What's the story? Question number 1. Do debates mean anything? No. No. Do you think somebody who was a great candidate got knocked out because of debate? No. Do you think somebody who really has something to say lost because of the debate? No. No. It's people. Trolls love debates. They can talk about, did you see what happened? Did you see? Trump never did great in the debates. Remember Trump's first couple of debates? They were horrible. They were terrible. Remember the time he was drinking water and the way he holds his thing? Remember the time Marco Rubio was drinking water by I don't know what the hell that was. What does that mean? There were some times that were important. There was a time where there was, you're not Jack Kennedy, Lloyd Benson, and Dan Quayle. Senator, I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. You, sir, know Jack Kennedy. They must have been waiting for that one. I guess that one. There was a famous one. I know you don't remember this one, but there was a famous one. Gerald Ford, Russia, East Europe debate. See what this is called? It's called research. Here we go. Yes, Ford denies Moscow dominates. This was 1976. President Ford, this is New York Times. President Ford last night in the debate with Jimmy Carter that there was no Soviet domination of Eastern Europe and there never will be under a Ford administration. His statement would seem to ignore the long-standing Soviet control of most countries in Eastern Europe. Specifically, said that Yugoslavia, Romania, and Poland were independent and autonomous. Yugoslavia is regarded as free of Soviet domination, while now, that was great. Now, it's 1976. I think I just graduated from high school. I didn't know anything about that. Didn't care anything about that. Didn't really care. But in retrospect, it was one of those, you've got to be. This is from the president. This isn't somebody who's a charter member of the Auto Club. This is the president. Did that matter? Not really. Not really. There were some other moments too. Remember when George Herbert Walker Bush looked at his watch? Remember that one? Because he wanted to see what time it was. He wanted to see how long has this guy talked. He wasn't, but it came across as aloof. Did that crush him? No. Was Trump that great in debates? No. No. The famous, remember the JFK Richard Nixon debates? And what do they always say? Nixon won on radio but lost on TV. Do you believe that? No, because everybody says it. They just say it's true. Do you believe that? Do you believe that to be true? Well, maybe. Why do people say it? I don't know. They just say it. They just repeat these things over and over and over. Now, Vic is loving this. Vic doesn't want to be president. Do you think Vic wants to be president? Come on. By the way, if I get one more pollen alert, what am I supposed to do? Time out. Pollen alert. Don't breathe. Don't go on. Waste of time. Needless data. Vic is not the guy. Vic is not the guy. Tim Scott, these others, forget it. And the reason is not because you can't point to a reason. You can't say, well, why? And the hardest part sometimes is to say, well, why do you think somebody is that good? You don't know. Because let me tell you what you do. A lot of folks do. You get the information first, and then you say to yourself, if I said to you, let me show you which of these people would you ever think would be president? If you showed somebody, let's say from the future, well, from the past, I should say, makes sense, because they would not know the future. And you showed them a picture of Trump, would they think Trump's that good? No. Would they think, they wouldn't be able to believe that they wouldn't be able to believe that Biden was a president. But he is. Very bad. But that's the way it is. So what you do is, it's hard to get people to look at somebody without your particular thoughts having been worked into it. You love Trump. Many love Trump no matter what. You cannot be objective regarding Trump. And I realize that. It's okay. You can't be objective regarding Trump. You can't do it. You can't. You love Trump. Do I think Trump's a great debater? No. Trump does this weird stuff. He breathes. Remember that? Weird. I don't know what he does. It's okay. What you like is you like Trump. And whatever Trump does, you like. Oh, his rally was fantastic. Oh, that was great. Okay. What? It was by virtue of the gut. Oh, the debating is fantastic. You think that's a great debater? Really? I mean, I don't know about you. Maybe I'm old school here. But the best, at times, who was terrific beyond anything you've ever seen, is Reagan. Reagan was great. Remember when, who was it? Remember when it was Al Gore started to walk around? And who was it? Trump, Bush looked at him and said, how you doing? he starts walking around. Then Trump was circling Hillary or Hillary was, there was a fellow named Rick Lazio. Rick Lazio debated, he was for the U.S. Senate and from New York, debated Hillary. And he started to get near. He started to get near Trump. Hillary. He would like get near her. And what was weird about that was very, very odd. When he got near her, she looked at him like, what are you doing? Did that make any difference? No. Is that the reason why? No. Of course not. This is tonight. This is about Fox News trying to hype it up and to get back being Fox News. And and it will always be Fox News. Tucker Carlson did a speech or an interview with Douglas McGregor, the colonel. It's fantastic. You think anybody's going to watch that? You think anybody's going to watch that? Are you kidding me? Do you think anybody's going to watch any of this stuff? Do you think anybody is going to watch a 1 hour or whatever video? No. A lot of people do, but not that crowd. People say, he got over 7 million people. There's, 8 billion people on the planet? What are you talking about? No, that's good. That's all right. Let me see if I can explain something to you. Very, very simple. Number one, politics. First of all, nobody votes. All right? Nobody votes. Nobody votes. Nobody votes. Number two, people vote for different reasons. They vote because their father was a Democrat, father was a Republican. They've always liked it. They're locked in. Their minds are made up. Very few people change their mind. You got some in the middle, but believe it or not, those people are really weird. To be undecided, I don't know. But there's more than you can imagine because politics means nothing to people. Next, people don't know anything. You got to understand something. They don't know anything, or they will hang on to something to try to convince other people within their group that they know something. They don't know anything. They really don't, and it's sad to say. For example, this Caitlin, the argument about 9/11. This kills me. It's not about forensics. It's all forensics to me, but they don't know anything about it. Vic Ramaswamy knows nothing about it. Can you imagine? Try talking about whether you believe there was any kind of a conspiracy in the Kennedy assassination without mentioning the physical evidence. Try doing it. You can't do it. It's impossible. They can do it because they don't know anything. There are things would be like, well, do you think that? Well, here we go. Not that I enjoy this particular way of thinking, but I will say this nonetheless. I've got friends of mine who will discuss, I've told you about this, they thoroughly do not believe that anybody landed on the moon ever. And when you talk to them, they don't sit there and say, I mean, I just don't know. No, they give you, look at this, look at the cloud, look at this, there's no stars, look at the dust, look at the footprint, look at the way the camera is, look at this, look at that, look at they now whether you believe this or not, it's another story. But they don't give you generic feeling. I don't know, I just don't feel. They always give you these specific, what they believe to be evidence, whether you think of it or not. That's important. These people don't. They don't talk about anything involving, they just have these feelings of whatever. It's just like, for example, do you believe in UFOs? Well, it seems to me rather unlikely that we can. No, stop unlikely. Do you believe that we are being traveled? They know nothing. Stop it. Don't say anything. Now, the only time you can talk about hunches and feelings and how in faith is religion, because you're not going to find tangible evidence of God. I mean, you might interpret it, and I understand that. That to me is, if you ask somebody about love or whatever, if you like somebody, you have to take somebody's word for it. They just like something, they don't like something, they believe in something, they don't believe in something. That's fine. But when it comes to historical events and the like, you need to know forensic evidence. You need to know, and they don't know anything. And nobody cares about this. Because with this advent of a lot of folks coming forward, there's a lot of people talking complete and total crap. And by the way, one last word about these debates. In the old days, there was a time, you have to remember, there was a time when it was the debate and that was it. And what was so interesting about the debate was, if it weren't for the debate, if it weren't for that, you would never see them. You would never hear Adlai Stevenson. We don't have, social media. We didn't have anything like that. So that was it. That was like the only time you get this all the time. You're saturated. Plus, people have the attention span of a nut. They're going to forget this. They don't care about this. They don't. I mean, you think things matter. How about Reagan was saying, well, there you go again. How about when Reagan said, I paid for this mic? Okay, that was nice. Did that make any difference? No, but it was memorable. Did that make any difference? No, it doesn't make any difference, but it's nice. Hey, look how nice his plate is. But the food sucks. Did that make a difference? No. People do not still understand what elections are about. Everybody here has made up their mind. Everybody here has been. Let me ask you right now. I don't know about you. I have changed, and I always will announce to you, I have changed drastically Bobby Kennedy is just losing it for me. He's not doing it. Nope. He came out strong, gangbusters, and I just don't see him. I don't feel he's not doing anything. Vic is sucking all the energy out of the room. That's fine. I was saying I'm gonna, you know, and I'm still depending upon. I thought I'm gonna write in Bobby Kennedy just for the hell of it, because Bobby Kennedy, his only interest in me is to destroy the Democratic Party. It's the only thing I cared about. Let me tell you who also is another outlier is Cornell West. Cornell West is serious business. Don't laugh at them. And this Mary Williamson or whatever, Mary Richardson, whoever the hell she is, this is the one that really, let me tell you something. They chip away. Chippewa, Indian tribe, in any event. That's what. Trump, you know Trump cannot be the president. Doesn't mind, you can't vote for him. They're not going to let Trump be president. Let me just cut to the chase. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Gavin Newsom's going to be the next president. I've been telling you this. You're going to say, what? And they're going to say, no, count the record. And you go, no, we're not going to count it. You know, Biden got 81 million. Don't bring that up again. He did. And you didn't stop it. You're not going to stop it now. Plus, we learned a lot of our mistakes. We know what to do now. Gavin Newsom's going to be the president. And nothing, you can't do anything about it. Gavin Newsom's going to be the president. Gavin Newsom is going to be the president. And you're going to say, okay. And he's got that Vaseline hair and the whole bit. And he'll know the spiel. He won't get caught. He'll know how to laugh. He won't say these stupid stories about how his cat almost died in a fire. Can you imagine that? Actually doing that. Actually going and talking to people whose devastation is inexplicable. And he says, I had a kitchen fire 19 years ago. Almost lost a cat. Almost. People have children who were missing, gone. These people are gone. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so you're going to see Gavin Newsom. He's going to be better than anything you've ever seen in your life. He knows exactly what's going on. He knows exactly what's going on. And Bobby Kennedy may or may not get a chance to debate him. And they're going to say, what about the fact? Oh, let me tell you something. Crime is something. Well, what about the fact that you let your city? Oh, I didn't let the city, but the crime, we have limitations, it's and that, and we got to fight back. We've got to do something about crime. Wait a minute. And Gavin Newsom is going to talk like he's actually a very serious candidate. He's going to win. He's going to do it. And they're ready for this. And they're laughing. Here's one for you. Listen to this one. There is something called, and Bobby Kennedy, by the way, so much respect for this guy. So much respect for this guy. What he's been through, what his family's been through. You know he's screwed up. I mean, with all due respect, you know PTSD. Children's Health Defense puts this out. This is a tweet. The regulation is completely tyrannical. Despotic New York Governor Kathy Hochul wants to take back the right to be able to isolate and quarantine anyone in any manner with no evidence. When a group of government or somebody who's in power takes a power that is not theirs, that is the definition of tyranny. This is according to people who struck down the original quarantine camp regulation last year. But every single New Yorker should be up in arms and demand that Kathy Hochul back off this appeal and show up in court. So they're still, let me see if I can explain this to you. And you know this. And I want you to listen. And rather than complaining about ads, I want you to listen to me, okay? Listen to me carefully. You are not going to like the future. Masks are going to come back. Every regulation you ever saw is going to come back with gusto, brio. There is going to be, as the usual evolution of viruses or whatever, you're going to see a host of things. Remember monkeypox and this one and Omicron and mutations and the like. There are going to be better vaccines, better means, methods of delivering vaccines. This is not over with. And while you are saying, oh my God, you're clutching your pearls in disbelief, there's another significant contingent of people in our country who are lauding this. Hallelujah. Thank you. If they say double masks, they'll wear a double mask. If they say put something on you, put a sticker on you that says, I've been vaccinated, a sticker. And then the sticker might be a tattoo or some type of RFID chip, some subdermal nanotech, they'll do it. And they will proudly say it. And they will put it on their Facebook and they will let you know, look at this. Here's my, this is what's coming. So you can talk about this all day long, and you can talk and there's I've got a friend of mine who does a great Substack. Everybody, I think, in show business is canceling tours, is sick, is dropping dead. That doesn't mean anything. I don't know where you're getting with this. I'm telling you, you don't understand it. The problem with us is that we convince ourselves we're winning the game because we only talk to people that we agree with. And we say, yeah, we're right in this one. Yeah, Trump is great. Huh? He sure is. I'm voting for him. I'm voting for him too. He's great. He sure is. This is delusional. This is delusional. What is the matter? You can't be serious with this. Don't you understand what's happening? This is somebody writes, nobody is falling for the lies. Yes. Yes, they are. You don't understand this. You are not understanding. We won't be fooled again. Yes, you will. Maybe not you, but the country's going to say, thank you. You see what we do? We just say things. We think that we represent the majority. No, we don't. Not even close. I'm telling you, quarantines in New York, there were people picking up the phone, calling 311, which is the non-emergency 911. I don't know if you have that in your city. And they were calling them and saying, listen, there's people next door. They're outside. I'm looking at them right now. They're having a picnic. Did you ever see that? You drive by and somebody would be in the driveway. They're having a picnic. They're too close together. 241 Elm Street. Yeah, on the corner of, yeah. They're right there now. Code 3. Code 4. I tell people, and I've told people who believe in the advocacy of UFO recognition, you sound like a nut to people. They don't believe this. You're talking to people who believe in religion. They're good people, but you don't understand. This is the way they are. I've got other friends about, I can't believe that we're Israel. If you vote against Israel and you're a Republican, you're dead. What is the matter with you? There was a time in the old days, you want to cut the defense budget? You're dead. These are realities. I'm a realist. I don't care what should and shouldn't be. Caitlin Collins doesn't know about 9/11. I understand it. Don't talk about 9/11. Let it go. Don't talk about 9/11. They don't care. Nobody. They want to say never forget. You know where you go for that? My channel, other people. We love the forensics. See, I love forensics. We're a country that supposedly loves the fact that we can take a piece of pizza that somebody munched on, a crust or something, take a piece of it, put it into a solution, remove the DNA, unravel it through and through titration and dilution and recompensation and PCR and put together and say, this is we have a DNA profile, and then through this kind of a backwards type of thing, then we can retrofit it and through genealogy find people. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this hot pocket. Hot pocket, thank you. See what he does? This is gratitude. This is gratitude. Hot Pocket says, we are the majority, but the majority of the majority are wimps. Hot Pocket, I do not know. We might be the majority. And I thank you. We might be. We might very, very, very well be. Okay? This is something which is important. And I thank you for that. We might be the majority. However, that doesn't mean anything. There's also tyranny by the majority. I know for a fact there are some things. Let me ask you something. Pocket, listen to me. Let me go back to you for a minute. I'm talking to you, Hot. I'm talking to you. And look at this. He even thought, how good, he even went back and clarified. The typographical, don't worry. See, it's a person after, man or woman after my own heart. Somebody clarifies it. I love this. Listen to me very carefully. I know things that have fascinated me my whole life. How do people become anti-Semitic to the point that they can sit back and watch the wholesale slaughter of a people by virtue of their religion or where they're from or their race? Just sit back and say, huh? How? How is it that we can sit back and laud Paul Tibbets and the Enola Gay and incinerating people and say, but the Gilgo, he's a serial killer. Granted, different war and all this, but death, we are moral relativists. Well, that's war and that was good. It was a good cause. What if somebody incinerated us? Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. There are people who look at Joe Biden and say, you know what, he's doing the best he can. Did you see all the people? Did you see all the people, Mr. Pocket, Ms. Pocket, whoever you are? Did you ever see the people who went to the Taylor Swift concert? The millions of people spent all that money for Taylor Swift? What the hell are you talking about? What's going on here? What is going on here? Did you see this? Explain that to me. So what I do is this. Again, I'm telling you, I'm a realist. I don't care anymore about there was how do we say this? Look at this. Liz Solak has a good question. Liz says, did anyone on the ground on 9/11 actually see a plane? Oh, yeah. It seems as though you would be able to notice or hear a plane coming at you. Well, you've got, remember the French? There were the French, these documentarians, and they say, oh, yeah, you can see it. And when it's coming at you, the sound is behind. Does it come forward? Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about that. Absolutely. And you know what? That's a good question. Always ask the question. When you talk about JFK, how many reports or rounds did you have, gunshots? Remember, and back to JFK, most of the men at the time had served in World War II. So all of them were combat hip. There was a guy one time, you might have seen this. There was a fellow on the ground who had his kids. His name was like Buddy, and he looked like Goober Pyle meets Larry Mondello. Ask your parents. And I thought, oh, look at this guy. And then he says, well, I was in the Battle of the Bulge, and this guy was. And he went into training. He dropped. He grabbed his kids. I mean, he says, he was wounded, Purple Hearts. To look at him, they were all over the place. Remember this one. This is my favorite. When they remember when they were figuring out the sniper's nest when they were up there? When they found the rifle for JFK, it said Mauser. It's got it on the written Mauser. The guy holds it up, and they're holding it up, fingerprints, the whole. Anyway, it says Mauser. Turned into a Manica Carcano. How the hell did that happen? You think Caitlin Collins knows that? No. Give me 5 minutes, 5 seconds with, well, I can get a sentence out with Caitlin Collins. Let me ask her 3 questions. 3 forensics questions. She won't know what the hell she's talking. She doesn't know what she's talking about. But I'm used to that. I'm accepting it. I understand it. It's time to move on. It's time to move on. You're going to spend the rest of your life talking about this stuff? People don't want to know. They don't want to know. There are people. I've got an Irish friend, great guy. And he says, and he's not the healthiest person. And he had a thing, the typical the English breakfast, the thing with the potatoes, the ham, or the rashers, blood pudding, this, beans, and all that stuff, and the eggs and all that. Okay. By the way, what eggs do to you? Wow. Anyway, and I said, that's going to kill you, or that eventually. That if you were to put they've already done this, a blood pressure cuff, immediately after consuming this, the walls of the arteries lose elasticity. That's why nitric oxide is so important. And you do know this, right? This is just insanity. Well, so you see that? People will look at something and they'll say, I reject this. I don't like what you're saying. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not saying it's not correct. I'm saying it doesn't rise to my level of reaction. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean a thing. I don't care. Nothing. It makes no difference. This sounds like the band, Robbie Robertson. It makes no difference. It makes no difference. And you can tell people things, and they will tell you and say, I do not want to hear this. I could tell people about eggs, for example. You won't believe it. And then I say, I'm going to tell you what the Egg Council did and how they came. I don't want to hear it. I reject it. Okay. I reject it. So that's the way that works. And I dig it. I understand it, and that's the way it goes. No problem. And people will tell you, I smoke cigarettes. I like a nice cigarette after a cup of coffee. I like cigarettes. I eat cigarettes. I smoke cigarettes. My grandfather smoked cigarettes. Cigarettes calm me down. I like cigarettes. I eat eggs every day. I eat bacon. What does that mean? I don't know. Are you saying, does this disprove anything? No, but I eat it. I like it. I like heroin. I've been using heroin for 20 years. I watch it. Wait a minute, what? I do that. Yeah, I do that. So when somebody says, well, that you might want to lay off the acetaminophen because you take too much of that, because that may affect liver damage. I take Tylenol every day, 3, 4, 5 days. Wait a minute. Does that refute it? No, it's called obstinacy. It means I don't care what you're saying. I don't care. You don't understand. I don't. The part for me to hit the brake. No, I look. It's like I'm driving and I see the car in front of me, or I think I see it, but I'm not putting on the brake. That's the fascinating part. So you can say, well, I know Biden's bad, but what are you going to do? Well, I know I should vote. Whatever. So that's the human condition. During the 50s, during the 30s, 40s, yeah, I know what they're doing to black people are wrong, but what am I going to do? Well, that's the South for you. That's the way they are. That's the way it is. Nothing you can do. Doesn't affect me. I don't know. Whatever. Let's go. That's America. All right, dear friends, you have a great and a glorious day. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I appreciate it immensely, because please remember to follow me on X or whatever it is at Lionel Media. Also, please subscribe. I can't tell you this enough. Make sure you like this video and subscribe as well. Please hit the YouTube notification bell, which is also critical. Also, go to Lionel Media to subscribe to my uncensored, culturally inappropriate the stuff that would never be allowed here, plus a musical introduction to music that I hold very, very deep. Also, follow Lynn's Warriors on X or Twitter at Lynn's_Warriors and YouTube at Lynn's Warriors. And Margaret, have you bought your My Pillow yet? Have you? Have you called 800-645-4965? Have you used promo code Lionel? Have you gone to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel? Have you done that? Have you helped this great American corporation? No, you haven't. I don't know why. Shame on you. All right, dear friends. See you tonight. I guess, 7 p.m. Probably, I don't know. Convince me to watch the debates. We'll see. In any event, you have a great and glorious day. Remember, don't worry about the truth. Just create your own reality and stick to it. It's far more fun than listening to people tell you a bunch of stuff that's inconvenient and problematic. All right, dear friends, don't forget these final words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Ta-ta.